ChatGPT, the prompt was: what military issue can came from a confession of the Sherman article "The war does and the in United States military and Argentina. If you are the response, the feedback, the product of ChatGPT came back to me. I am now. Ich bin. Ich bin Georg. I am George. Yo soy Jorge. Eu sou Jorge. If you are referring to a German word thus, the for neuter nouns or that and that, there or then, confusion between them is primarily a language and communication issue. A language and communication issue. Say with me, is primarily a language and communication issue, not a uniquely military one. However, in military or security environments, whether in the United States, Argentina, Germany, or elsewhere, small linguistic misunderstandings can have operational consequences. Misunderstandings can have operational consequences. Examples include ambiguous written orders. If a German-speaking liaison officer writes an instruction using "da" when "das" was intended, or vice versa, the sentence may become unclear. For example, "das Ziel sichern" secure the objective. "Das sichern" secure there. These convey different meanings. Multinational operations, NATO, and partner nations frequently operate together. NATO and partner nations frequently operate together. Although English is the primary operational language, German personnel may communicate internally in German. Translation errors can affect movement orders, logistics, intelligence reporting, maintenance instructions. Digital systems and documentation, incorrect transcription of words in reports, databases, or translated documents may lead to confusion during analysis. Although professional military organizations typically use standardized terminology. Say with me, standardized terminology. And verification procedures to minimize such risks. Training and education. Argentine officers studying in Germany or German instructors working with Argentine personnel could encounter misunderstandings if learners confuse grammatical forms. Personnel could encounter misunderstandings if learners confuse grammatical forms. This generally affects comprehension rather than operational safety. This generally affects comprehension rather than operational safety. Comprehension, encounter. Operational safety, standardized terminology. Operational safety, standardized terminology. Verification procedures, operational safety. Affects comprehension, encounter. Affects comprehension, encounter. United States and Argentina. Neither the US Armed Forces nor the Argentine Armed Forces conduct routine operational command in German. Neither the United States Armed Forces nor the Argentine Armed Forces conduct routine operational command in German. Their standard languages are United States English, Argentine Spanish, Argentina Spanish. When German is involved, for example, exchanges with the Bundeswehr or academic cooperation, professional interpreters, bilingual officers, and standardized military terminology are normally used to reduce misunderstandings. Standardized terminology are normally used to reduce misunderstandings. Could a confusion become a military issue? Could a confusion become a military issue? Potentially yes, but only indirectly. Potentially yes, but only indirectly. Any language misunderstanding, whether involving German, English, Spanish, or another language, could contribute to delays in executing orders. Incorrect interpretation of a location or object. Mistakes in logistics. Reduced interoperability during multinational exercises. Professional military organizations mitigate these risks through standardized phraseology. Read back procedures, written confirmation of critical orders. And trained interpreters. Thus, confusion between das and da by itself would rarely create a significant military problem unless it occurred in a critical communication. Thus, confusion between das and da by itself could rarely create a significant military problem unless it occurred in a critical communication and was not detected through normal verification procedures. Confusion between das and da by itself could rarely create a significant military problem unless it occurred in a critical communication and was not detected through normal verification procedures.